Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. Today we build the Dark Lord of the Sith and Enforcer of the Emperor's Will, Darth Vader. For stats we'll be using the standard array of the player's handbook, divided up as you see here. Darth Vader is immensely powerful physically, even without the Force, but our robotic limbs and suit make us a little sluggish. Moving on to race, we will be a Warforged to represent how we are more machine than man now. As a Warforged, our constitution is increased by +2 and our strength by +1, raising them both to 16. We gain constructed resilience, giving us advantage against being poisoned and resistance to poison damage. We don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, we're immune to disease, and we don't need to sleep. We can't magically be put to sleep either. All our machinery and life support systems do have their advantages. Sentry's Rest makes it so we get a long rest in 6 hours. Integrated Protection gives us +1 to our AC, we have to don armor in an hour-long process, but it can't be removed against our will after this. Specialized Design gives us proficiency with a skill and tool set. For our tool, I recommend Smith's Tools to represent how good we were at building things in our previous life. And for the skill, we might grab Insight, a skill we probably wish we had before we fell to the dark side. Finally, for languages, we speak Common and one other language of our choice. Choose whatever fits your campaign. For our background, we could go with Urchin to represent our childhood, Acolyte for our Jedi training, or Soldier for our time on the battlefield. We will go with Soldier as I think that is the most important part of Vader's life as Anakin, and continues on into the rise of the Empire. This gives us proficiency with Athletics and Intimidation, one gaming set of our choice, as well as land vehicles. Our feature is Military Rank. As the right hand of the Emperor, we have a lot of sway in the military. For class, we'll start off in Fighter, focusing in on our skill with the lightsaber. This gives us a D10 hit die, proficiency for strength and constitution saves, all armor and shields, as well as all weapons. And for skills, we'll pick up History and Perception. As a first level fighter, we gain a fighting style. Vader is often shown fighting one-handed, so we will go with Dueling. This gives us a +2 to damage while wielding a weapon one-handed and nothing in our offhand. Using a longsword will actually average out to slightly more damage wielding our weapon in one hand this way. Next we gain Second Wind, which allows us to regain 1d10 plus our fighter level and hit points once per short rest as a bonus action. We use the Force to sustain ourselves in battle if we are injured. As a second level fighter, we gain Action Surge, allowing us to take an additional action on our turn once per short or long rest. As a third level fighter, we choose our Martial Archetype. Similar to Luke, we will be going with Psi Warrior. This grants us Psionic Power, giving us a number of Psionic Energy Dice equal to 2 times our proficiency bonus that restore on a long rest. In addition, as a bonus action, we can restore a single Psionic Energy Dice once per short or long rest. Spending our Psionic Energy Die allows us to use the following powers: Protective Field, Psionic Strike, and Telekinetic Movement. Protective Field allows us to, as a reaction to being damaged or an ally being damaged within 30 feet, roll a Psionic Energy Die and add our Intelligence modifier, reducing the damage by the result. Psionic Energy Strike allows us to, once on each of our turns after hitting a target within 30 feet, expend a Psionic Energy Die and add the result plus our Intelligence modifier to the damage. And Telekinetic Movement allows us to, as an action, target a loose object that is large or smaller, or one willing creature other than ourselves within 30 feet and move it up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space. If the object is tiny, we can move it to or from our hand. Once we take this action, we can't do so again without a short or long rest, or spending a Psionic Energy Die. Fourth level in Fighter is our first ability score improvement. We'll trade this for the Telepathic feat. This will increase our Charisma by +1 to 14. We'll be able to speak telepathically with anyone we can see within 60 feet, and once per long rest we can cast Detect Thoughts for when we need to discover that not only do we have a son, but a daughter as well. Fifth level Fighter grants us extra attack. Now when we take the attack action, we make 2 attacks instead of 1. In addition, our Psionic Energy Die increases to a D8. At 6th level, again similar to Luke, we will multi-class. But this time, instead of delving deeper into the mysteries of the Force, we want to increase our Force potential at the same time as our martial capabilities. For this reason, we'll be going with Paladin. This grants us Divine Sense and Lay on Hands. Divine Sense allows us to, as an action, a number of times equal to 1 plus a Charisma modifier, detect the presence of Celestials, Fiends, or Undead within 60 feet, so long as they aren't behind total cover. Lay on Hands allows us to replenish a number of hit points equal to 5 times our Paladin level each long rest. In one go, we have increased our ability to sense our surroundings with the Force, as well as sustain ourselves with it. Second level Paladins gain a fighting style, of which we will be choosing Defense, increasing our AC by 1 so long as we are wearing armor. Convenient that our armor can never be removed. We gain our spellcasting and gain 2 first level spell slots. We'll be using these for smiting most often, but spells like Shield of Faith and Compelled Duel really help drive home the idea of us hunting down the Emperor's enemies. Finally, we gain Divine Smite. This allows us to expend a spell slot when we hit with an attack to deal an additional 2d8 radiant damage. The damage is increased by 1d8 for each spell level higher than first to a maximum of 5d8. If the target is undead or fiend, the damage is increased by an additional 1d8 to a maximum of 6d8. Third level paladins get to choose their oath. We'll be choosing Oath of Conquest from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. We gain Channel Divinity, and our two abilities are Conquering Presence and Guided Strike. Conquering Presence lets us as an action force each creature of our choice within 30 feet to make a Wisdom save. On a failed save, they're frightened of us for 1 minute and can repeat the save at the end of each of their turns. I really like this as Darth Vader was very good at inspiring fear in his enemies. Guided Strike allows us to add +10 to an attack roll, even after we roll, but before the GM says we hit or miss. I imagine this is what we will most likely use, comboed with our smites. 9th level and our 4th level in Paladin means we gain our next ability score improvement. We'll drop this into our strength, raising it to an 18. As a 5th level Paladin, we would gain extra attack, but we already have that. Luckily, this isn't a dead level for us as we gain access to our 2nd level spells. Our Oath spells include Hold Person and Spiritual Weapon. While I don't have a parallel for Spiritual Weapon, Hold Person is a good stand-in for our Force Choke. Other decent spells include Magic Weapon, in the event we haven't found a Sun Sword yet, and Warding Bond to make sure we can protect our master even better. As a 6th level Paladin, we gain Aura of Protection. Now we and any ally within 10 feet add our Charisma modifier to saving throws. Even with our lacking dex score, we now have a bonus to all saves. 12th level and our 7th level in Paladin, Oath of Conquest grants us the Aura of Conquest. Now, so long as we are not incapacitated, we emanate an Aura of Menace. Any creature who is frightened of us has its speed reduced to 0 while in the aura, and it takes psychic damage equal to half our Paladin level if it starts its turn there. 13th level, we gain another ability score improvement. We'll drop this into our Charisma, raising it to a 16. As a 9th level Paladin, we gain access to 3rd level spells. Our Oath spells include Bestow Curse and Fear. Both are very good for representing the dark side of the Force. Fear is even more useful when combined with our Aura of Conquest. 15th level, we gain Aura of Courage. We and any allies within 10 feet of us cannot be frightened while we are conscious. Us being immune to fear is obvious. Our troops are actually just more afraid of us than the enemy. 16th level grants us improved Divine Smite. Now whenever we hit a creature with a melee weapon, they take an extra 1d8 radiant damage. 17th level is our final ability score improvement. We'll be dropping this into our Charisma, raising it to a 16. 18th level and 13th level in Paladin sees us gaining our 4th level spells. Oath spells include Dominate Beast and Stone Skin. Dominate Beast is a holdover from skills we picked up as Anakin Skywalker, and Stone Skin could possibly be us reinforcing our suit with the Force. Another decent spell we have access to is Death Ward, which one might say is possibly how we survive our final duel with our son. 19th level sees us gaining Cleansing Touch. We can now end a spell affecting us, or one creature we touch, a number of times equal to our Charisma modifier each long rest. 20th level and the capstone of our build comes from Oath of Conquest. We gain Scornful Rebuke. Now whenever a creature hits us with an attack, they take psychic damage equal to our Charisma modifier so long as we aren't incapacitated. End result sees us with an average of 174 hit points, and assuming we're still in chainmail, an AC of 18. With a one-handed longsword, we'll average 17 damage a hit. 2 attacks means 34 damage a round. Add on to that the ability to add damage with our psionic energy dice, and smites, we are very deadly in melee combat. With Lay on Hands and spells like Armor of Agathis, we're able to take damage as well as dish it out. Our only real weakness would be ranged combat. We really need to close the distance to be deadly. But hey, there's a reason we have a legion of stormtroopers. Vader's fists will take care of ranged combatants, while we cut through anyone foolish enough to face us. Special thanks to Brandon Yates for the music in this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. I hope all your 20s are natural, and I'll see you next time.